What's up, guys? Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how wide receivers can study DBs on film and 3 things that wide receivers need to look for in a DB on tape. Okay, so now the first thing you got to understand is what kind of leverage the DB likes to play. That's what I would say is number one. What kind of leverage does he like to do, and how does he like to play the specific leverage against specific pre-snap looks from the wide receiver? So anytime that you're watching film of a guy, you got to be watching tape of him against an offense that is similar to yours, against a receiver that aligns up, has different alignments similar to yours, so you know what to prepare for entering the game, right? So you look at this wide receiver, he's lined up in the middle, like kind of bottom of the numbers here, right? So every time that I would line up at the middle bottom of the numbers, or every time that you see that on film, I would try to decide where this DB likes to line up. Does he like to be inside shade? Does he like to be head up? More often than not, he'll probably be inside shade, because the only time that you're at the bottom of the numbers or middle of the numbers is when you're probably trying to run an inside breaking route. We wouldn't expect a whole lot of comebacks or fades from this specific alignment if I was a DB. Now, if you're a guy who likes to line up at the top of the numbers, maybe, and then, okay, how does this DB like to play me? He likes to play me outside shade when I'm at the top of the numbers, or he likes to be more head up. All of this is to know what kind of plan you need to structure off the line of scrimmage, okay? Now, that's the first thing. So we have to understand his leverage, all right? So outside leverage, head up, or inside shade, because that's how you can pick the releases to choose and pick the right moves to choose. Now, second thing that you want to understand is how far off does he like to play, right? So you'll see a lot of guys, especially in high school, you'll see a lot of high school DBs that'll be playing 5 to 6 yards off in man coverage. A lot of guys that like to play maybe in zone coverage the entire game. But what do they like to do when they're up in man coverage? Are they right up on the line of scrimmage? Are you off the ball and you have a little bit of space? How does he like to play? Right? So if he's inside shade, if he's head up, if he's outside shade, but how does he like to play you? Does he give you a little bit like 2 to 3 yards? Does he play the catch technique, or is he right up on the line of scrimmage, going to get hands and going to get physical? Those are the first 2 things you have to understand. Now, the last thing that you need to understand on tape is how does he play certain situations, right? So I know I'm not necessarily playing the clip. I know we're drawing on a lot of things, but let's play this clip full speed. So this is going to be a slant route, and this DB is extremely patient, right? So this receiver tries to run a slant. DB sits extremely patient to the inside and is able to make a great play on this thing. Now, what we notice here is, like on film, if you see something like this, you know, okay, this guy's very patient. This guy wants to sit to the inside. This guy's expecting this slant route. This receiver probably could have sold vertical a little bit harder. But if you're a team now, let's take a look at the next clip. Is the exact same DB, and he plays it the exact same way. Same alignment, inside shade, but now this receiver has a fade, and this DB tries to do exactly what he did, sit to the inside and guess the route a little bit, right? So this wide receiver comes here, gives a little hesitation, then just goes, and is able to just get him by a couple steps because that DB wanted to guess to the inside and try to sit to the inside. And that opens up a ton of separation for me. So if you can recognize these tendencies from a DB and understand what he's trying to do off that line of scrimmage and what he likes to sit on, what he likes to expect, that can help you structure your plan. As a wide receiver, you don't want to make it too complicated. You don't want to have a million different things that you can do off the line. So you have to make sure that we are building off of my releases, building off the DB's leverage. Okay, so now what is it like? What's the exact plan that you could come up with here? What are some things that could build off of each other, right? Now, before I want to get into that, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and maybe you struggle reading defenses, you struggle watching film, you struggle understanding tendencies, and you want to get some more information on that, check out that very first link in the description below, fellas, where you could get access to a 40-minute long video on how wide receivers can read defenses. So if you guys want to learn all about coverages, how you guys can read coverages, how you guys can sit in zone coverages, this video is perfect for you. It's a 40-minute breakdown where I walk you through every single defensive coverage, talk about what you can look for from a receiver perspective, and how you guys can get open and what routes will work against that specific coverage. So if you guys want some more information on that, check out that very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. So now, what would be a good plan for a DB like this, right? So a good plan might be, okay, if I'm lined up at the top of the numbers, and let's say that the 3 routes I'm going to be working that week are slants, fades, and then maybe posts. So like my plan is, okay, if my coach or my offense likes me to line up where I'm at, and I have to run a lot of slants. Obviously, this DB plays this thing very well. So what we would want to do is we'd want to really make sure that when I do a diamond release or whichever it is, I'm selling vertical, and I'm selling vertical hard to try to get that guy to bite. right? And then I also want to make sure that anytime that I'm maybe backside on a play and my job is to run this guy off, I got to let him feel my speed to open up the routes, right? So make sure, number one, that we have to go hard anytime that I'm trying to slip back underneath. Two, if I have to run a fade or if I have to run a post, I know that he loves to sit to the inside and he loves to keep his leverage based on this first clip. So if I have to run a fade, if I have to run a post, I'd maybe want to attack him a little bit, attack the leverage because he wants to keep that leverage to the inside. He wants to stay disciplined, which can open up more space for you to the outside outside to either restack and run the post or to just go run the fade. But that's what we have to understand about DBs on film. We got to understand tendencies, leverage, and how they like to line up. Let's play both of these clips full speed because I think this is just a great example of how we can use when a DB tries to sit on a route, tries to guess on a route, tries to stay disciplined to our advantage, and which will ultimately make him open up that gate throughout the game. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback, and we hope that these videos help you guys out and give you some value. And again, if you'd like a little bit longer of a video on how wide receivers can read defenses and recognize coverages, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.